Ọ bụrụ na agwọ emeghị dịka agwọ, ụmụaka ga-eji ya kee nkụ. If a snake doesn't act like a snake, little children will use it to tie firewood. Now we don't want that, do we? Well, in a nutshell, for this series, for the purpose of this episode, this is how we are going to interpret this Igbo proverb. In short, let those who are not for us show themselves so we can treat their fuck up and move accordingly. Now, if you're not okay with cursing, perhaps this is not the podcast or the episode for you. In general, we're not going to be cursing in this podcast. However, we're going to speak very freely when it comes to our lives, one, and two, when it comes to our Your Name is Not Endurance series. All right? Okay. So now let's get into it. You're listening to Salt&Culture. This podcast is a key ingredient for tapping into inner understanding, inner wellness, and the craft of using the elements to create the life you want. To create culture itself. I am Chichi Mambo. Welcome to the third episode and the first live of Salt&Culture. So, in this series, Your Name is Not Endurance. This series aims at helping women unlearn the toxic gender roles which require them to endure, which require them to suffer for the approval of society or for the approval of men. So, oh, child, I haven't done a live audio broadcast anywhere except Facebook. And it's Friday night. We're going to have some fun. We're going to be a little bit lit. If you hear me slurping and you're not into ASMR and whatnot, just know that I'm having a sip of my mocktail. It's a mango, ginger, and lemon mocktail. It's Friday night, you know, and I'm here doing this for you, date night with you guys, because y'all are special and I love you. Okay. Although you might think I have no life, but whatever. I'm dedicating my Fridays to you guys. So, what really inspired this series? I've been thinking of it for a very long time, all right? And I started I started doing a little posts on the series with using the hashtag Your Name is Not Endurance or My Name is Not Endurance. Just to speak against this idea that women honestly have to work so hard and suffer for love, for acceptance and approval. And I'm not honestly going to say Nigeria, although if you're in Nigeria, this is more palpable for you. But almost, I could say it's a global thing, right? Because while in the West is not as heavy, as acceptable to have women perform certain, behave in a certain way, present themselves in a certain way, especially when they become of maritable age, to be able to, you know, partner with a man more long-term in a way that involves their family, usually marriage, you know. Give me a second. Oh, child, these lives, you guys are just gonna hear everything, okay? You're gonna get it all. Raw, uncensored, the burps, the slurps, the everything, the ums, the ahs. But yeah. So I just wanted to bring it to the forefront. This is something I've been talking to my girlfriends about for a very long time. And I said, honestly, why not just like with everything going on in social media? I thought it would be really great to bring it to the Pop Salt and Culture platform. And I thought it would be great to incorporate this into our podcast, Salt and Culture, because why not help a community of women and men? Yeah, I really, really want men to be a part of this, to be part of our audience. They are welcome to listen and to understand that, hey, perhaps what gatekeepers of society, like, women who are allies of the patriarchy, right? Or victims or whatever, but I call them gatekeepers. All these women who do the most and these pick-me's and whatnot, like they probably don't know better, or they probably choose this life. They probably enjoy this, right? They benefit from this patriarchy. Perhaps that's it. I don't know, but I want to help men understand that it is toxic, and the things that you expect of women is just wrong, right? Because indeed and in essence, we are human fundamentally, first and foremost. And what you would not like to perform or done to you, honestly, a woman does not have to endure that because your mother did, okay? Because your sister did, okay, great. Now, we're going to delve into the scandal of the week, and I can promise you this is probably a daily occurrence, right? I can promise you that every day a woman will literally be able to post, a woman will be posting or will be sharing, okay, or will be suffering in silence about an instance where she's been expected to perform suffering or to really actually just endure the suffering, okay? To endure it. So when I say perform suffering, like, what do I mean? Like, so not in the sense that you're literally dying and you're acting like you're dying and you're miserable or whatnot. No, but, as a sign of meekness, almost like hazing, but like a lifelong hazing, so to speak, right? In the sense that a lot of women, West African women, right, when you're trying to get into your husband's house, I know this is the same in the Middle East. I know this is the same, in other parts of the world, really, where you're required to act like even in the West, who am I kidding? Where you're required to act like the meek, kind and mellow girl who does all the work and the chores in the house, helps your in-laws to do every single thing around the house, wash the dishes for your man when he comes over, clean his underwear and drawers, even when you do not want to. Actually, when you cannot, or you physically feel like you are completely unable to, but you feel the need and the pressure to perform these tasks, to show a sense of that, to show like you're malleable, to show that you are bendable, to show that you are meek and soft and just, pliable. So basically, in the long run, they can, have you do whatever they want you to do. You have to perform that. You have to be like that. You have to act like that. So they feel like, oh, you know what? She's easygoing and, she does everything for us. So we're going to bring her in the family gladly with open arms, and your in-laws are supposed to fight for you because this is such a wonderful, sweet, meek girl or woman. And so therefore, you'll just be easier to accept. Now that's one. There are many other ways that women perform, right? And this enduring is what I find sickening. Okay? I find it mad. I find it evil. I find it very wicked. Very, very wicked, right? For women or men or whoever to feel like we need to take and accept and forgive a lot of the inhumane and unkind actions of men towards us, because, he's a man. Men will be men. Okay, what are you trying to say? Like, after all this, after you fight us, and you fight us here, and you fight us there, and, you throw a tantrum here and there, aren't you still going to come back to us? Or are you going to go for the good guy? Who are you going to go to? I mean, let's face it. There are good guys everywhere. There really are, right? There are good guys everywhere. But there's this concept and idea that girls don't like men who treat them well. I think it's rubbish. I think what women want is men who respect themselves and stand up for themselves more than anything. And men just think what that equates to, because one stupid girl in college or primary school, who didn't know themselves, and they didn't know themselves, treated them like, like crap when they were meek and lowly and performing for her, as opposed to just loving her and loving himself and standing up for himself and doing what's right by himself and doing what's right by the woman in his life or the girl in his life. So all these are just misconstrued, toxic things that we've learned, and especially in this age where people are highly economically independent and much more knowledgeable about certain things, because, of course, the digital age has opened access to a lot of things, right? To knowledge, to a whole pool of knowledge. So men and women, there's a lot that we need to learn and unlearn, and literally we need to just stop. Like our mothers, God bless them, if they can learn, you guys, let them listen to this podcast, let them listen to this series, okay? The Your Name Is Not Endurance series, all right? They need to listen to it to unlearn these things. Let me slurp a little bit of my water and berries. Oh, this citrus mango mocktail is everything. Hold on. Moisturize my throat. Okay. So, scandal number 1 that I came across, is it this week or last week? There are 2 we're going to go into. If you've seen the cover of this podcast, then you probably know the next person is going to be. But today, it's going to be one of my favorite people in the world, Toke Makinwa. Toke Makinwa. Absolutely love her. Watched her journey. She was like the big sister that you want to have, the big sister that you never had. She taught me a lot about self-worth, about men and whatnot. Yeah, we all have our problematic faves, right? I love Toke, right? Flaws and all. Okay. And she made a comment about one of Snoop Dogg's post about Gucci Mane and his wife. I mean, Keisha KR. I mean, since their wedding, there's been so much nonsense and bullshit and crap out there about, oh my God, Keisha, she was a ride-or-die, She was there when Gucci was fat and round and sour, and she shaped this man into what she wanted, and look at him now, so polished, so clean, 20 packs, chocolatey goodness. Yes. Every woman should learn. After how many years? I don't even know how many years they were together. And so I'm just going to read this to you. Okay? I'm just... Hold up a second. Let me pull it up. And, honestly, we need some background music to accompany this nonsense. All right? Like, cue the music. Here we go. This is Snoop Dogg, okay, on Instagram, typing all this bullshit. Everybody wants this. But what y'all forget is she was wild Gucci. I think, okay, the English, all right, Uncle Snoop, you gotta get it together. Get the English together. Let me read it again. This is what Snoop Dogg posted under their picture, right? The picture of Gucci Mane and Keisha Kaur, all right, that they posted up recently. Everybody wants this. But what y'all forget is she was with wild Gucci, on drugs Gucci, cheating ass Gucci, in jail Gucci, publicity with other women Gucci. This is Gucci after therapy, after rehabilitation. This is a street man groomed into his 30s after he's beat at his lowest. He's been at his lowest point, and this is a rider. Okay? Who knew what he signed up? Who knew? Sorry. Oh, Lord. I can't read this to save my life. What the hell is this man writing? Where are the damn commas? Okay. This is a street man groomed in his 30s after he's been at his lowest point. This is a rider who knew what she signed up for. Y'all, other females, is with another dude after a couple fights. I hope I got the Ebonics right. All right. You guys. First of all, I do not understand why people call women females and men men. Okay? If you're going to use the word a street man, Uncle Snoop, please also use, woman. Right? If you're not going to do that, you just want to refer to human beings by their species, say, well, this is a street male. And then you can use, females, which, is still horrible in the sense of, just sounds like you're talking about a species of, I don't know, amphibians, like rats or snakes or like reptile. I don't know, like just female humans are women and girls. Male humans are men and boys. So let's just stick to that so there's no confusion. Thank you. So after this mess that Snoop Dogg wrote about, everybody wants, a beautiful looking, six-pack chocolate looking Gucci man with money and all that, but what y'all forget is that Keisha Kaur was with the wild Gucci, the on drugs Gucci, the cheating ass Gucci, the going to jail and back Gucci, the publicity stunts with other women Gucci. Like, listen, Keisha, God bless her. I am not going to judge her. I'm not. Okay? Because everyone's story is different. Everybody's story is different. There are people who have been with men who have abused them, beaten them up, whatnot. And at the end of the day, the men decided, okay, I want to do something about this. They've changed for the better, or they still have their demons, but they're better than they were. And this woman stuck with them and, until they became better people. And now they so-called reap the benefits of his betterness. Okay. There are people who have been with, people who have raped them. I know how this sounds, but it's just facts I'm spilling. All right. And, now they have a happy, live happy ever after, whatever that crap is. There are also women who have, been with men for, like 10, 11 years. And it's, amounted to nothing but the same bullcrap. Now, these women probably left. And basically what Snoop Dogg is saying is, if you've been with a man for 10 years and he's been treating you like crap all these years, just hang in there and wait to the damn 11th year. Wait to the 12th year, 13th year, so that when this man becomes great, whether it's in his 50s, 60s, or never-ties, whenever that is, you'll be there. to reap the benefits, whatever benefits there are. Whether or not you're interested in the damn benefits he has to bring, or whether or not you outdo him completely in life and your benefits and your blessings and your whatever overflow and surpass his, still sit there, honey. Hang in there, because don't ask for something when you can be a rider. He put rider in capital letters, okay? When you can be a rider, honey, like Keisha Kaur. Bless her. I'm gonna have to sip a little bit of this. You guys, this is way too much. Okay, this is the message that my Uncle Snoop, we do have some useless uncles out there. Sometimes it does make sense, but I'm going to say this time he smoked a little bit too much. It happens. Okay, Uncle Snoop? So we will let it go. We'll let this one go. But this is the message. Ladies, hang in there. Endure. Be long-suffering. Be long-suffering. You might just be able to reap the benefits like Keisha Kaur and the few other women who have stayed with highly abusive, useless, destructive men, found the value in them, and they turned out well. I'm going to say this. I'm going to read what Toke has got to say in response to that, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents. I'm not trying to make this too long. We got to go 23:09. Like, we got to hurry up and let this go. Here's what Toke wrote. I am deeply tired of this narrative, though. This post pissed me off so much. Why do we like to make women look like huge jokes? Why is this the way to happiness? Why must you sell the I suffer pass mentality? This promotes low self-esteem. I know for the most part of my life, I believed that for love to be real, it had to hurt. I believed there had to be pain and real humiliation before you find peace. And that mentality is BS. That mentality made me stay in crazy situations and do the most for the wrong reasons. Let's stop, please. This is trash. Please, show me examples of men who stayed with a cheating woman, a drug addict, jailbird, publicity with other men type woman. Crickets. Show me a man who knew what he signed up for, and even after she slept with his brothers and friends, held her down till she became a refined woman. If we can't pick 10 men, please stop raising your daughters to hold down situations that might eventually break them. Stop selling the narrative that women have to suffer before they find the love. This is ruining the lives for real, and it should stop. Now, y'all, I love Toke to bits. If you don't know this about Toke Makinwa, she was in a relationship with this he-goat for almost 11 years. They attempted to get married. You have to read the book. It's wild. But you know what? I'm not going to lie. This is her business that came out to the forefront. However, the truth is a lot of us have a lot of stories that if we share of the things we have done for men, including this women who scream, oh my God, I stand up for myself. Women are the best. Women are great. Don't take crap from men, blah, blah, blah. Don't you ever, if a man treats you bad one time, to let him go. We all know that all those girls stay. Okay. We know that most of those girls stay, and they stay for a ton of reasons, and I will not judge them. Toke was one of those women, stayed for 11 years, and I will not judge her because she has learned. And she learned the hard way. Mighty hard way. Okay? He left her for some other woman who he got pregnant. while he was married to her. I mean, the mess is like way too much. I would have had a heart attack. I don't know how to deal with it. But Toke learned, and she understands that this is not the way to go, period. It's just toxic, time wasted, emotions wasted. Meanwhile, you could have been a real baby girl for life. You know? When you're single, you belong to these streets. Okay? You should be enjoying yourself, having fun, going out there, looking pretty if you want to look pretty, engage in activities you love, science, fairs, like whatever you love to do, bungee jumping, have, other things that fulfill you, and other fun activities that fulfill you, and other, hustles, right? Like, put your emotion into that, because a man will drain you. Like, I can't emphasize this more, but yeah, I need you guys to understand that Toke went through it. So she understands, this game. And as a woman in my 30s, I bloody get it. I get it. This message, a message like this, is dangerous. I cannot imagine Snoop telling his daughter, I know you're with this guy who's absolute scum, but men are scum anyway, so just sit right there. I've had family members tell me that. Like, come on, pick a man. Any man, doesn't matter. Pick one and settle down, because all men are the same, and all men are crap, and all men, whatever. Pick a man. Now, I also know women in my family who've just picked a man and they've ruined them, drugged them to the ground. I don't want that to be my story. Okay? And the people who've also picked a man and, ended up falling in love and having this beautiful love story with them. But everyone has standards. What's most important is to work on self and figure out, what's your path? What way is for you? I'm so happy that it worked out for Keisha Kaur. And I don't want people to go dragging her or thinking, oh, this is like a low-life woman with no self-esteem, no love for self. Like, what the hell's wrong with her? No, Keisha Kaur is a gorgeous woman. She's smart. She has her own business. She just looks like she embodies grit. A whole lot of grit, honey, because to endure all that, But yeah, so that was the message that Toke had in response to Uncle Snoop. And I just think Uncle Snoop just like smoked way too much. Now let's go into the second person, right? I highlighted her on the image for today's podcast, for today's very first series on My Name Is Not Endurance. Your Name Is Not Endurance. One of my absolute favorite actresses. Yes, one of my actual favorite Nollywood actresses, Nse Ikpe. Gosh, her eyes are so dreamy. She's just, it's gorgeous. But the reason why I'm highlighting Nse today is because Nse turned 45 a few days ago. And boy, you can't tell. This girl looks like she's, 27. Oh, black is beautiful. And so Nse turned 45, so 25. And she had this beautiful post about, what she's learned about life, her journey and all that. This beautiful philosophical post. Okay. And gorgeous photographs to go with that. Like they have like a lot of Nigerian actresses, a lot of Nigerians in general. We do glam shots every birthday. How about glam shots? Because hey, it's your one day to like totally, be as narcissistic as you want to be. Totally allowed. It's all about you. So show the world. Okay, be flamboyant, be out there. And she did a nice glam shot. She looked gorgeous. And yeah, everybody was celebrating her. And then, oh my God, from nowhere, comes this four-legged, disfigured looking porcupine. Okay. His name is Mason. I'm not going to call his last name because at this point he's been drugged for filth already. And by the grace of the Great Spirit, Mason has learned his lesson. I don't know. I hope someone spoke some sense into him. But so Mason decided to leave a damn comment. Okay. Mason decided, I will display the highest level of my stupidity right here, right now, so the world can see. All right. So here is what Mason said. Cue the damn music. Happy birthday. But the question is, at 45, are you married? If yes, are you with your husband? Is your marriage intact? Finally, did you have kids for your husband? If all these questions are fulfilled, meaning you are a strong woman who found grace in the sight of God. But if you have missed any of these my points, if you miss any of these questions, meaning there are still issues ahead of you, and the 45 years of age is not worth celebrating. Oh, bitch. Oh, Mason. Let me have a sip of my mocktail. Mason said, happy birthday. Yeah. But, I had 25 questions. Are you married? Do you got kids? Are you still with your husband? Because, I don't mean, like you separated from your husband. Like, are you with a man? You got a man? You got kids for that man? With that man? It ain't nobody else's kids but that man's? Okay. Well then, happy it's 45. But if you do not have any of that, you don't got no kids, no husband, left your husband, married but separated child, just cover your head in shame. Ain't nothing worth celebrating. You guys, if you see this Mason Seth, he looks very angry. Very angry. You see, for a man, I don't care how patriarchal the society you come from is. I really don't care, right? No matter how toxic the messages you received as a child about women are, it's one thing to feel that way. It's a whole other thing to see a woman celebrating and go under there to just shit in her parade. That's a whole nother thing. Okay. You come online and you write this dissertation. You ask all these questions you're supposed to write under her stuff. I'm like, it is the most insulting and the vilest, most wicked thing you can do to a woman at that, at this stage in her life where she's literally celebrating everything that means something to her. And I'm going to tell you why what he did is so vile and wicked. Because you might be saying, Chichi, he's just a troll. Who cares? I care. And here's why you should care. So if you know Nse, which I think he knows her story, which is why he knew the impact of what he's doing. Okay? Because she came out, I think last year, all right, about a situation she's been going through. So Nse has had a lot of female health problems, right? She's had complications with her fertility, serious, major complications with her fertility. And I think at a point it became a matter of life and death, or a matter of just like managing pain and managing a lot of things. And she really had to make a decision, because she was also told she can't carry a child to term. So we're talking miscarriages upon miscarriages. And that, accrued with other complications. She had to choose between her life, herself, and the idea of a child, which would most probably never come except through a miracle. Miracles happen because she can't carry a child to term. I don't know if you guys remember the story of Frida Kahlo, who, Frida's situation is kind of different because Frida got into an accident at some point in her life. Frida Kahlo is a Mexican artist whom I absolutely adore. And she could not give birth to term, but every time she got pregnant, she'd have a miscarriage. And that is so horrific. And if you have very major complications with, your organs, your female and reproductive organs, it's really tough. And sometimes, even as a man, even though you don't have reproductive organs, like female reproductive organs, you can be empathetic, right? So Nse came out last year about having to take out her womb, right? A hysterectomy. She had to take out her womb. And if you know anything about African culture, Middle Eastern culture, not being able to have a child, even in the West and anywhere else in the world, it's a big deal. But I'm saying the impact of this is huge in other places in the world. Not being able to bear a child, even at 30, is a huge deal and a call for concern from all your village members. The ones you know, you don't know, the ones that like you, that hate you. Everybody will have a say. Strangers, like Mr. Mason right here, will have a say. They'll feel like they have a say. But, this is what happens. The village, everybody comes out and thinks they can talk about your reproductive organs, your womanhood, because they equate your womanhood to, can you hold a man? Can you keep a man? And can you have children? Now, this is how crazy it is, right? A lot of Nigerians, there are a lot of Nigerians who believe that if you have a C-section, you're not a real woman. Okay? This is how much they value childbirth. That it has to be a vaginal birth to be legitimate. For you to stand among women. So when they say, every woman here stand up. For you to use your leg to lift yourself and stand up. As though you belong. You better make sure that at the age of 30, you're standing up because you are a woman, which means you have children. But most importantly, you have a man and you answer Mrs. and his last name. God damn it. Oh. Sip my juice. Sip my mocktail. Yeah. A woman is defined by her ability to reproduce, and most importantly, by her ability to be claimed, to be honored by a man. So in a case like this, right, where Mr. Mason is writing this, and I know there are a ton of Nigerians who agree with him. They probably don't agree with the fact that he was, vile in the sense that he knows what she's gone through, and he had a very, very, mean approach, right, towards her and what he said. But there are a lot of them that do agree. They're like, are you a real woman? I know a lot of Nigerians who, and you listen, when I say a lot, I'm not talking out of my bum, okay? I have literally been on a ton of extremely popular blogs. Hold on. Bella Nigeria is one of them, but even for a culture blog, really what was really popping and what pops more than that, the Stella de Macaca's blog, the Linda KG blog with millions and millions and millions of followers. If you really want to know what the average middle and lower middle class Nigerian is thinking, go on these blogs and you'll see. Like, you will really see what the culture is about, what the mentality is about, right? So this is not taken out of my bum. But yeah, this is how a ton of Nigerians think, a ton of West Africans think, a ton of Africans, a ton of Middle Eastern people think, right? It's just the truth. They just feel like a man needs to honor you. You need to bring life to be called a woman, a womb man, a womb man. So if you're a womb man and you take out your womb, use a man. Use a whole man now. Shoo. It's devastating. It's horrible. So this is what makes this response to her beautiful post so incredibly vile, so wicked, and so insulting. Right? So he's saying, and I will repeat that last line, but if you miss any of these questions, meaning there are still issues ahead of you, and the 45, which is her age, is not worth celebrating, means shut up, stay in the shadows, endure the fact that you are a childless woman of 45 years of age, who might not have a man, and says married, by the way, to an amazing man, right? That's her soulmate. Their love story is so beautiful. I'm sure that it's just like everybody else, no, like, situation is perfect, some are better than others, but she's married to, at least she's been blessed with love, right? She's been really blessed with love. At least that's what both of them tell us, and at least that's what we're able to see. But does it mean that if she didn't have a man, now she'll be double useless, childless, and manless? So that means all her years of being extremely one of the top thespians in Nollywood, in Nigeria, in West Africa, being one of the top thespians means nothing? Do you know what it means to act one Nollywood movie? This woman is brilliant. Brilliant actress. She has entertained Africa for years. She's given back to her community. She has taught women so much about self-love, about all these things, and all you can say when she's celebrating herself is that she shouldn't bother. It's quite sad. It really is. It really is quite sad. But it's okay. Right? We're going to go back to our quote. We're going to go back to our proverb, right? Which is Oburu na agwo emegidika agwo umwaka gajia keunku. Okay? If a snake doesn't act like a snake, little children will use it to tie firewood. Let those who are not for us show themselves so we can treat their fuck up and move accordingly. Okay? It's okay. Show yourselves, right? The men, the women, the pick-me's and all that. Bring yourselves out. We're going to try to educate you if you come out in a way that is not, just completely insulting and mean. And if you don't, well, we'll treat you according to the energy that you brought. Okay? Anyways, thank you all for listening to the very first series, the very first episode in our Your Name Is Not Endurance series. I love you all so much. Salt&Culture, the Salt&Culture podcast can be found on Spreaker. That's Spreaker.com/Salt&Culture. These will also be uploaded to YouTube, but also the best sound quality for our Salt&Culture podcast will be found on SoundCloud, right? Which is soundcloud.com/Salt&Culture. Please don't forget to follow us on Spreaker, follow us on SoundCloud, drop a comment. We're also available on Spotify. Okay? We are on Spotify at Salt&Culture. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, Uda, peace.